I called up like 70 people from Just Dial. I did cold calling to salon people, and I was like planners, everyone. I made a list. Out of that, 40 got converted. They asked to do the meeting, and 17 gave me the job. When I started, like I had nothing to lose. So there is nothing to lose now because I have everything. So I think that keeps me going, you know. 2 of my students went Cannes. Like it was a very big opportunity. He's the highlight of this podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Breaking Uneven podcast. We love to talk shop, uncover the beauty of failures, and play a few games. Today we have with us Rocky and Kajol Paswan, the founder of Kajol Paswan Academy, which is a makeup academy. So how are you feeling today?
Thank you, Janvi. That was a lovely introduction, and thank you for letting Rocky come in and have a space. Of course, I'm feeling so great. Honestly, it feels like I've always manifested to be a part of the podcast, and because I've grown up like studying that, adding those kind of values, looking at Priyanka Chopra. So I think it's a great feeling here.
Yeah, and I think Rocky has now found his nap spot.
Yeah, he looks.
Yeah, let's not jinx it.
Yeah. But yeah, so Kajol, you completed your bachelor's in business from SK Samaya and then jumped into the real world as a luxury bridal makeup artist and a content creator and an entrepreneur. So yeah, have you got it right so far of what your journey looked like?
So honestly, I started my journey at the age of 17, and I was a lost child. Like I was figuring out, I just knew that I want to do something big. What I wanted to do, I was still looking for I was finding that. So I was into nail art. I started my journey as a nail artist, and I gave 90 hours to YouTube, and I learned it by myself. And I made some money, and then I invested. Modeling and acting was always my passion, and I invested that because it's such a high investing career. Yeah. So I saved some money, I invested in there, and I was sitting in full room of auditions, beautiful women around me, and then that's when I realized that what is different in them, and I'm a good observer. I'd like to study things, and that's when I figured that the way they are carrying themselves and the kind of makeup they are wearing, and that's when being me, I'm a perfectionist. If I don't know something, if I figured that out, I was like, okay, now I have to learn that. And that's when I was doing my research, and I thought that let's learn makeup professionally. That's how I got here. That's how my journey started.
Nice. But yeah, given that the academy is what has brought you here, we have a quick little game for you.
Okay. I'm excited.
So this one's called the Twitter Pitch Challenge. Twitter is known for its 280 character limit on every tweet, which sometimes makes it difficult to convey your thoughts. It takes about 20 seconds to speak to 80 characters, and that's the challenge that we transfer to you, which is to explain to us Kajol Paswan Academy in 20 seconds. But it's not that easy. You also need to use one emoji and one hashtag in your tweet.
Start.
3, 2, 1, go.
Kajol Paswan Academy is all about women empowerment and making women financially independent. And hashtag will be again women empowerment, and the emoji will be the queen one.
Nice. 10 seconds. 11.
Nice.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. So yeah, you mentioned that you started with nail art and then went to makeup. So how did your makeup obsession start? Was it YouTube for you? Because for me, it was definitely YouTube. When I was in 9th, 10th grade, I think all the American and British YouTubers were coming up. And I used to keep looking at them, do their makeup. I learned the basics from them. And then when I went to uni, I was attracted to all their products that they were using. So what was your journey like?
So Janvi, when I was 6 years old as a kid, I used to love makeup, and I used to put lipstick and go to sleep.
Oh, wow.
That much obsessed I was in love with makeup. And whenever my mom had to make me score well in the exam, she used to tell, listen, if you score well, I'll give you this makeup kit, I'll gift you that lipstick kit. So that was always, I used to love dressing up, I used to love getting ready, but I never thought that I can turn my passion into a profession. So honestly, I started exploring, I started doing my own research. Of course, YouTube plays a very big role. But I think my main obsession came from Femina Miss India. Like I used to, as a kid, I have seen that watching, and the way they groom, I love that feeling of getting prepared. Like, so that's how my journey started.
Nice. So like, okay, yeah. So since I guess the age of 6, that obsession was there. You got into like nail art. But was there anything in between? Like, did you ever consider a career in anything else, or was this your?
So honestly, I think in being in City of Dreams, you think of becoming an actress. So that was always my thing, that I want to be an actress and I have to be ready, and I was preparing myself. So that's how it started. But I was never sure that what I want to do. As I said, like, I was figuring it out.
Obviously, a career in makeup, right, is not as standardized as, for example, becoming a banker.
Yeah.
Right?
Not at
Yeah.
all.
And to be honest, in India especially, right, when you're at that young an age, it is very difficult for you to figure out, okay, who is going to lead me into the right path, and what that path is also you don't know. So where did you kind of, can you tell us about a mentor that you may have found along the way? How did you find them, and what that meant for you?
So, okay. Thank you for asking with that question with such a detail. So honestly, when I started nail art, I already had I already got into the wedding industry, and I got to know that how it functions and what kind of, it's very rewarding, like someone's big day, and and the kind of connection I was building when I was exploring myself. And I'm someone who is a big risk taker. Like I can bet on myself with everything. So I eventually, when I was exploring myself, when I learned makeup, I called up like 70 people from Just Dial. I did cold calling to salon people, and I was like planners, everyone. I made a list. Out of that, 40 got converted. They asked to do the meeting, and 17 gave me the job. So honestly, I completely believe that right mentor is so important. But I figured it out by myself eventually. Like I think who helped me out is my people around me, my friends, the vendors. The wedding industry is so supportive. If you ask for help, if you ask for help, they're actually willing to help you. So that's how I built it. I think they were my mentors. I used to ask them. I used to ask my planners that, hey, what should I do next? I used to ask photographers, like, what should I do next? And that's how I kept on upgrading myself and started building a team. Like having a right team is very, very important.
You mentioned that I can always bet on myself and things like that. What would you say is like that one quality that helps you, or like that mindset, actually not quality, that pushes you to bet on yourself? Because I think sometimes, for me at least, like it's hard to be like, okay, fine, you can, like I believe in myself, but betting on myself can get like a little tricky.
So Janvi, like I come from a very humble and middle class and conservative Bengali family. I had seen my father's ups and downs. And as a child, I always, like as an elder daughter, I always wanted to give them a very good life. My father is a big risk taker, and I've seen him growing that way. So coming back to your question, like what mindset, I think I started with nothing. When I started, like I had nothing to lose. So there is nothing to lose now. Yeah,
it's like, I don't know, like I have nothing to lose either, but it's like just like trying to like go ahead with that thing, being like, okay, like it's, I mean, I think that was like my first risk, so to say, was like to move back, because I was like, okay, I have nothing to lose, like I'm going home, staying with family, like I can do something of my own, like I don't need to like be in an unhappy space.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was, but like that just struck a chord
and
with me.
I think
So I was
to
like,
give my family a better, comfortable life, never, I promised myself, like I think I was 12-year-old and had seen a certain situation with my father. My father wasn't, and I promised myself, I don't know what like hit the chord, and I said that, I promised myself I'm never letting this time come back.
Yeah.
I'll work so hard.
Yeah.
So I think that keeps me going. And now, like in today's time, when I see like so many women, so many people depend on me.
So since you were, well integrated into the wedding scenario, and that in India is of course a massive market,
Yeah.
right? You could have made it, you could have been successful even as what you were doing back then, right? Like branching out from nail art into makeup, and then let's say becoming the foremost makeup specialist for weddings. Why did you choose to go the academy route? And obviously it comes from the idea that there are different challenges when you go to the academy route versus being almost self-employed and having just yourself as the
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
So what was the kind of main one single reason why?
When I was growing up, I figured that being financially independent is so important. And when actually I started earning, I realized that gave me the freedom to keep my opinions in front of family, in front of everyone. That the kind of respect I want, whatever I want to buy, whatever I want to think of going to the places I can do. That's how my journey started off an academy. And I wanted people to feel that they have arrived, that when they come to the academy they should feel that whatever their worries is, because when I do makeup it's a meditation to me.
Yeah.
I forget everything. So I wanted that someone who enters this space, they should feel they have arrived in their life and they will make it big. Now their time has started.
So, I just wanted to quickly touch on the family aspect, right? As you mentioned, you come from a humble middle class family, and it's obviously like, in India, there's a general trend wherein your parents generally want their children to go into a, let's say, generic career. And obviously in India, that's doctor, engineer, etc.
Yeah.
And what you've chosen is obviously an alternate career where there is, at least in our country, less of any kind of security and what that's going to mean for your future. How did your family react to this, and how did that change your outlook
Oh
on
my
it?
God. But I actually did not tell my father for 2 years.
Oh,
Only my
what?
mom knew, and only my brother. My brother plays he's the strong backbone. So he played a very important very vital role in my life. Because even right before, like even the nail art, like he used to come along with me to support me, like to go to places, and I saved that money. I've traveled like to save 6 rupees. I have walked 3 kilometers. So that's how I saved every single penny, and I've invested in myself. And that's how my journey.
So what happened when you finally
Yeah.
told your dad?
So actually, I did not tell my dad. I still did not have the courage. Even when I was eventually doing little well, my mother and my brother had that conversation that, and I was listed as top 10 makeup artist in Mumbai. After that, they like your daughter is doing something, and that's when he's like, okay, like he accepted it.
Oh,
Wow.
Like
wow.
proudly. I changed the complete dynamic, the thought process. Like, I will not blame him because the kind of culture,
Yeah.
the kind of, he was just protective about me. That's it. But yeah.
It was also a different generation altogether.
Different
so
generation.
thought
yeah.
processes
Yeah,
are a little
yeah.
different.
But now he actually
Like supports you the
yeah,
most.
supports, and he tells other like everyone that this is a great profession. When he goes to banks and stuff like that, he actually coaches join makeup course because that will change the career. So that's
Yeah.
how he does that propaganda in that way.
He's your true marketer.
yeah, totally.
But no, I mean, it's insane. Like, the intention behind starting the academy is quite pure, like in the sense of like helping others get into like that,
Yeah.
like their financial independence and join that journey for themselves. So, compared to what the academy was when it started, how has it changed to what it is now?
Oh, so back then I'd actually rented out a 1 BHK apartment, and that's when I started with 3 students.
Wow.
And then eventually batch after batch, and I was like, okay, I can do well. And I got my house, and after that, for my first dream house, and in that space I converted the hall into an academy. And then I was like, okay, I'm doing now better, now let's. So in my 25th birthday, I actually got my first my space, my own space. I always wanted to have the best academy in Bombay, and because it's the city of dream, I had gone to so many academies, and I was like, I want to have something like brilliant. People should be like, wow.
So at the age of 25, you actually funded your own office.
Yeah, right
That's
before COVID.
insane.
That's
invested,
amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Wow.
And like, not only that, like you've also worked with like so many amazing brands like Nykaa,
Yeah.
Dyson, L'Oreal, Charlotte Tilbury, just to name like a few. So like, from this, like, what has been your experience with them, and like your favorite, I guess, like project or collaboration or
I
work?
think most of very close to my heart was Nykaa Pro, where we hosted like 20 underprivileged kids, different parts of their life, their journey, the kind of struggle they shared. And I actually, it's a very, very crucial part where my Nika Pro chose my academy to like make them feel that way, and we hosted like for 3 days. The session was there, the training period was there, where we taught makeup, where we introduced hair and also draping. So just in case, and out of that, two I am in touch with. I keep ensuring that I am in touch with and giving some kind of opportunity whatever whenever I can. So yeah.
Nice. That's an incredible
Yeah.
opportunity, and also like I think like throughout your journey there's a lot of giving back, which
Yeah.
is really like
I totally believe in that. I totally believe in that.
yeah.
Even if I can inspire through because of me, even if one person's life is, I like, okay.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And like overall, you meant like working with these brands, being part of the wedding industry. There's like a lot of like networking involved. So, what has
yes.
been your journey? And like, if you have a tip for someone that is starting from nowhere, how to enter an industry like this?
I think networking plays a very important role. But also at the same time, you have to be your authentic, true self. And skill set and communication is super important. So if someone is just starting out, whosoever, even the bride approaches, just be kind and nice, and be your authentic self. Like, don't try to be fake, because people can read it, when
Yeah.
you try to pretend something. And when it comes to networking, I think nowadays Instagram is such a strong part in all of our lives. So you can just DM people, you can connect to the planners, you can connect to the wedding vendors. There are nice wedding portals, such successful wedding portals where you can get listed on. So these are the marketing plays a very important role. I think how you position yourself will play a very important role, and it has to be a consistent process. It's like not one day you're just chilling, and it has to be very consistently be done.
And then, so how does like social media come into that? Because social media is an exhaustive game. Like, it's very exhausting, right? Like, you can't. I know, like, for most content creators, they openly claim that they are actually 50% as happy as they look on their reels, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just you have to be on it 24/7. It's not like a TVC that you can shoot one over a month, release it, and then sit for 1 month. So, how important is social media in building your brand? And like, if you could choose not to do it, let's say you would still get the same returns, but if you choose not to do it, would you?
So honestly, for me, social media plays a very important role. I think it played a very vital role in my life, because back then, 10 years back, I used to go door to door and give trials. Now people, they see your work, you get millions view, and people know who is your artist.
Yep.
And I think my life is, or I think like you cannot say that, everyone's perspective is different, but I think the way I'm living my life is that everything is content. So you have to be organic yourself and just put out your best, and then you will not have any stress of. But I love camera, so I will always choose.
So you're okay with social media? Like, if
Yeah, I
you could
love
choose
social-
not to do it, you're like, I'm okay. You're
Yeah,
okay
I
with
love it. I love it.
So I want to pick up on one of the themes that has come into the conversation so far, and I think it in my head came first when you were telling us about how your career and the path you've chosen, you'd kind of hidden it from your father for 2 years, and then when he finally was told, he accepted it and actually was feeling proud of it, right? So what that essentially means is you empowered yourself to follow your
Yes.
own journey, and it led to such an amazing outcome. And now pretty much that's what you do, right? Like, you're empowering others to follow the same. And I think a big focus for you is women. So, like, on the topic of women empowerment, right? Now, what you have done for yourself, how do you try to like imbibe that quality in your students as well, so that they can empower women in the future? And if so, how do you do it?
Absolutely, Anuj. Like, I love that feeling. Like, when the other day, actually 3 days back, one of my students had come, and she's now a core team member. So after the academy course, once the internship is done, I hire them as my core team member.
Nice.
And she was telling about her journey, and like the kind of journey as a woman go through the finances, the marriage part, and the having a kid. And she's like, Kajol, like, I actually feel empowered, and I can take my own decision. I can buy whatever I want for my daughter. I can give her that life. And looking at me, she feels like she wants to be like mama, like hardworking. She's understanding the value of life. And not just that, but I still remember in the very initial stage of my career, there was one depression a student of mine, and now she's a phenomenal artist, and she got her daughter into, and that gives me like tears, like,
That's
oh my
amazing.
god, like we have touched so many lives. And that's my journey, that's my goal as well, to empower as many as women, because I know the feeling when you start making your own money. Being financial independent is so important, because I've seen my mom being dependent, and I was like, she's always being very headstrong, and she's like, no, you have to make your own money, no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
you have to, and that's a different feeling. So
The reason I ask this is because, like, see, in your lifetime, if you even give it your 120%, right? Let's say you'll be able to like touch X number of lives and change those.
Yeah.
But if you equip them with the power
Yes.
of changing lives, then you like eventually the effect you've left behind is X squared.
So honestly, let me tell you, so many of my students have started teaching, and they have also started giving them internships. I was like, wow, that's a cool thing. Like,
Yeah.
people will be thinking that, okay, but I was like, I'm happy, I'm proud of it, whatever you guys are doing, because they are impacting so many lives as well. So it's a good feeling.
And at the end of the day, it's like education that you're trying to do.
Yes.
So it's good that they are passing it on as well. And it also kind of comes back to you in terms of credibility, because they are able to
Totally.
start that because they went through your academy.
Like last month, one of my students went to Cannes. Like, two of my students went to Cannes. Like, it was a very big opportunity, and
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I mean, that's
so when we
literally-
say internship, we give this kind of opportunity. Like, that we position themselves as a brand. So because Instagram and other things play a very important. It's just not about content. It's also about learning experience. When you go there, you get to meet so many people. You get to experience so many experiences. So much of pressure that shapes you, and not just as an artist, but as a person, as an entrepreneur. So yeah,
No, that's amazing. I mean, Cannes is probably one of the biggest red carpets in the world. So
Yeah.
for as an internship to have that kind of experience is like unimaginable, I'm sure. And I think what matters is, there's one part about giving women the opportunities that you've given them. But yeah, I think what you said about that mother saying that, I can buy whatever I want for my child, that financial independence in a country like ours is something that's very, very difficult for women to achieve. And I think that's something that matters
Yeah.
a lot as well. And, I just want to reiterate the fact that Kajol here had her own office at 25. Like, that is amazing. Like, I don't know how many 25-year-olds in our country would have done that.
That was a
Yeah.
kind of risk, but I as I said, I can bet on myself, because I know that there's a purpose behind it. So I'm looking at the bigger purpose. I'm just not looking at the kind of challenges I'll fail. This is what I am, and I will make it happen.
Oh, that's
And like
awesome.
your hard work is
Yeah,
really
it's
paying
the
off.
consistency,
So yeah, because I mean, like, it's not that you've been doing just this from the get-go. It's like it's evolved over time. And like at this point you're reaping the benefits of everything that the 17-year-old you was trying to do, which is insane. Like,
Maybe I never thought as a 17-year-old that makeup can give me so many things. Today, whatever I've done in my life, it's because of makeup, and that's the superpower. It can change life.
yeah, I feel like so many people don't understand
Yeah.
that. Like, a lot of it can seem superficial and things like that, but like sometimes it can be. Like, I think you mentioned that it's also a sense of meditation, and like
Yeah.
that, like, yeah, getting ready part sometimes is more fun than like actually going out, because like you just like spend that little time with yourself, like put an effort for yourself, and it's like difficult to do that on a day-to-day or
basis,
like
yeah.
like even within the day, the entire day, you're not thinking of yourself as much as you do in those like half an hour or whatever few minutes there is. So yeah, like I think like overall people I guess undervalue the impact of the entire
Yeah.
industry.
Feeling good, looking
Yeah.
good to feel good. Yeah.
So like if in terms of like your academy overall, like you give these internship opportunities where people are able to go to Cannes Film Festival and things like that. So what is the journey for someone that starts with you on this internship program? I think it's like for 6 months, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So what is
So-
what do those 6 months look like?
So honestly, first 3 months is intensive training, but 6 month journey is starts with first is it's a lot of work where I think that whatever I've learned in my 10 years, I try to give them in 6 months. Like whatever I did not get that opportunity in my though, because a right mentor plays a very vital role. And I want to be that kind of mentor who changes not just careers but also position them and build everything whatever they have dreamt of. And that's about 6 months internship. I try to give them best of the best opportunity. Maybe for them it will take 6 years or maybe 10 years. Maybe for me it took me 10 years to get even to do whatever I'm doing, like podcast. It took me 10. Maybe for them they will take only 2 or 3 years, or maybe then the 6 month journey I can give whatever best I can give.
So then, like, so it's the intensive training, and then it is
Going to the best of the influencers, doing the best of the clientels, how to handle the situations, everything, how to be an entrepreneur. It's just not about learning makeup, but how to deal a situation, how to handle, because this is an art, right? You have to know how to communicate well, how to handle it situation wise. So in that 6 months, we train them in such a way where they are getting exposure, which is like we over deliver it to them.
Okay. And then, like, after the 6 months part, once they graduate, I guess, your academy, you then give them the opportunity of being hired as well.
Yes.
Or they
Yes.
can go down their own individual route.
So if they want to work with me, they are my core team members. Or if they want to start the individual, they can. They have that much potential, and we have positioned in such a way that they are themselves a brand. So they don't have to work under anyone. They can start out their own. And giving them exposure, because the kind of faces, the kind of clientels, it will take them months or years, maybe it'll take a lot of time to figure it out. But here it's like the blueprint is ready. This. That's the journey, and you get boom.
Yeah.
You get what you want.
Nice. So, like, now, do you focus more on the academy or also on your personal makeup artist journey?
I think it goes hand in hand. Like it's like a cycle. Like bridal academy influencing is the byproduct.
Yeah.
So I enjoy all three, and all three are a very strong pillar in my business. Yeah.
It seems like you really get excited by the entire, like, educating people about
love it.
Did you ever, I guess, consider starting like a YouTube channel or something like that?
Honestly, yeah, that's on the line, but there's so many things are happening. So I think my team is the one who pushes me, like, let's do this, let's do this.
So yeah, I think you have all the rare qualities in you that make a good entrepreneur. Like betting on yourself and delegating. I think a lot of people might struggle with things like that. So that, I guess, also contributes to where you are.
All right, so let's go on to the next segment.
Okay.
This one is called Two Truths and a Lie. So
Okay.
the idea here is you give us 3 statements,
Okay.
2 of which are true, 1 of them is false. We have to guess which one is the false one. It could be challenges, achievements, personal, work-related, anything.
Okay. Done.
Ready?
Okay, ready.
Go for it.
I got my house at the age of 23. I was listed as top 10 makeup artist at the age of 18. And I won Wedding Sutra awards at the age of 21.
I know what I'm choosing. The third one.
Yeah, because she kind of mentioned the other.
Yeah,
Two.
she mentioned the ages, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's the third one. What's your view?
Yeah, but okay, I'll say the top 10 might have come at like 19. Yeah, if she started at 17. So I'll say that's the lie.
That's a lie. Okay.
You?
I say the third one's a lie.
Yeah.
Which one's
You
true?
guessed it right. Yeah.
Which one? He? Guess it right?
No, you said the third one, right?
No,
I
she
said the third one is a lie. The Wedding Sutra is a lie, right?
Okay, and what about you?
I said that the top 10 makeup artists you got at 19 instead of 18.
So the second one was the lie.
Lie,
as per
yeah.
her.
Ye-
Top 10 makeup artists in Mumbai, you got at 18. Is that true?
No.
Oh, you got that
Okay.
at 19.
Yeah, I got that at 19.
Oh.
Okay, and then
And
the
then-
third one, the Wedding Sutra.
Yeah, the Wedding Sutra was right.
Okay, yeah, so you were
So I
right.
got
then.
it right, okay.
Actually, that was a very simple calculation because she started at 17 and she
Yeah,
told
but
her
then-
father 2 years in after the
yeah,
listing
that's
came.
what I was thinking, but then I also like she could have started earlier,
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, maybe because it's like 1 year here and there. So. But yeah, that brings us to the rapid fire. We're gonna ask you questions and you have to give us quick and short answers. How many days of leave have you taken in the last year?
Days of leave. Wow. I've not calculated it.
So closer to none than at this point.
I think maybe good 30-40 days. That's
Okay.
a good one.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Did you ever question whether it was worth it? Like whether starting your academy and everything was
No,
worth it?
not even a single day.
The weirdest place you have worked from?
I think one day, like very initial stage of my career, like my bride, it was a pre-wedding shoot and she had to get ready and I got her ready in the washroom. Like I think that's one of the weirdest. I don't know whether it is a weirdest, but it was a public washroom where I was doing
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
public
That
washroom.
works.
Yeah. Your proudest moment with the academy?
I think very recent the Cannes things and when I see my students being financially independent and being successful, I think that's one of my proudest moment.
Okay. What was the one time you felt like you let the academy down?
I don't think. Not
That's
yet.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Not yet.
awesome.
One learning as an entrepreneur.
Never stop learning. Never stop upgrading. Be a risk taker. Go all out. You can bet. You're the only person. Is your like you are your own Brahmastra. I believe it.
What is the scrappiest thing that you've done to build your business?
Okay, this was my just started. I was dressing up groom's mom, and she said I want a golden lipstick. And golden lipstick like back then, and I did not have golden lipstick, but I had learned in the makeup course that whenever you don't have like you can put eyeshadow. So what I did, like I just placed eyeshadow, like couldn't stop laughing at her. Made domestic hell was standing around the kajal. Now stop, like so I think that.
No, man, that's allowed. I agree with
I
it.
think that's awesome.
I feel like if anything you can put on your eyes, you can put it on your lips, and anything you can put on your lips, you can put on your cheeks. It's all allowed. But yeah, your favorite makeup brand.
My favorite makeup. There are so many, but I think Charlotte Tilbury and Huda Beauty are my favorite because I love the way they empower as well. Like
Yeah.
I love how Huda is and Charlotte.
Similar to,
yeah,
like, what
it's like
you're
maybe someday
empowering.
I'm manifesting that I'll be the brand ambassador in India.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One product you can't live without.
lipstick.
Okay. Your dream client.
I think I'm.
You're living your dream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's working with the
Yeah.
Yeah,
fair.
I'm living my dream life.
Okay. What did you do with your first profit?
Okay. So back then, my father had suffered a lot of losses in the business, and he had actually mortgaged our house, and we were paying 10% interest every month. So from that profit, I gave it entire money to my father, and I was like, we need to get out of this.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. Honestly, like one of the best answers we've heard on
Yeah,
this.
for sure.
Yeah.
Most answers are like reinvested it or had a nice meal, took my team out for a nice meal. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like something else.
Like meaningful. Which hobby of yours did your work kill?
which hobby? Work kill. I think dance. I used to love dancing, but now I'm like not getting the time.
Books or podcasts?
Podcast.
iPad or notebook?
Notebook. I'm a writing person.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl.
And your favorite social media platforms?
Instagram has to be.
But yeah, that concludes the rapid fire segment, almost bringing us to the end of the podcast. We ask every guest to ask our next guest a question. So we're first gonna show you what our previous guest asked.
My question is that if you were on your deathbed, and it's a little morbid, and if people were to give speeches about you, what qualities would you like to, what 3 or 4 qualities would you like them to say about you?
So when I'm on my deathbed and what 3 or 4 qualities, I think how I have touched their life, I think I would love to hear their stories, because if I made a difference in like I've recently watched this movie called Miracles Can Happen. So I believe that, you know, every nice thing you do to someone is a miracle. So if I have actually made that happen in their life, if they didn't believe in themselves and they believed because of the purpose and because of me, I think that is the one thing which how many lives I have touched. That is the thing which I want to hear when I'm on my deathbed.
Nice.
Amazing.
I think she asked like 3-4. Do you have any others?
She asked to say 3-4 things. I think one is that, and how I want to build a husky farm. So I want to see like how many huskies and like that way. So yeah, like people coming and visiting husky farms, like, and the kind of feeling they have. So I want to hear that as well, how my babies are doing, and how I'm like leaving a legacy behind and letting my family not letting go anything through what I've gone through or my family have gone through. I'm ensuring that everything is safe. So maybe that's the speech, and I want to hear.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's amazing. But yeah, thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
It's been an absolute pleasure learning more about your journey.
Thank you so
And
much.
yeah, hope you enjoyed it.
I loved it. I loved every bit of it. Thank you for making me so comfortable and rocky. And thank you for having me. I think this was so cool, and my heart is feeling so like light. Like I'm like, oh my god! Even
Thank
if
you.
we can touch few lives, I think we have, like as you said, like it's worth it. So yeah. Thank you, Anuj, and
Awesome.
thank you, Janvi, for
Thank you,
having
thank
me.
you.
It's a
you.
pleasure having.
Yeah, we've
here.
really enjoyed it. And especially having Rocky.
Having Rocky, yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite recording yet. I loved it.
Yes, I totally